Hi, Mark from Appmixer here. In this example, we will set up a flow that watches for new documents in our Google Drive before approval folder. Each new document added to the folder generates a new human task for a manager to manually approve the document. This task will be sent to the manager's email address as an email with two buttons: approve and reject, together with a link to the document. Once the manager approves it, the document will be copied to the Google Drive approved folder. If the manager rejects the document, it will be copied to the rejected Google Drive folder. At the same time, a Slack notification is sent to a channel with the resolution. Seems like a lot of work? Not with Appmixer. Let's get started. Before we uncover all the steps required to build such a flow, let's start from the end and see what a flow looks like in Appmixer when it's complete. You can see the complete flow here in the visual drag and drop designer. Let's see how we've built a flow from scratch. First, we needed to set up a trigger. In this case, the flow starts every time a new file gets uploaded to the waiting for approval folder in our G drive. We want to notify the approver via email. Therefore, we need to use the request approval email component under the tasks module. As said earlier, this module makes sure the relevant person receives an email when he or she can easily approve or reject the document. First, we set the task title and description. Next, we need to define the requester and approver email. Last but not least, we need to set the decision by date. Here, we will use modifiers and we'll set the due date to the time the document was created plus 24 hours. In other words, the approver has 24 hours to approve the document after it's been uploaded to the waiting for approval folder. Notice there are three paths from the tasks component: approved, rejected, and due. As the names suggest, approved sets the path once the document gets approved. Rejected allows you to set a different path in case the document gets rejected. And due helps you adjust the flow when the task is due. In our case, we want to notify the approver via SMS. When the document gets approved, we need to export the relevant file from our G drive and upload it to the relevant folder. Moreover, we want to send a Slack message every time a document gets approved. Notice how we've used variables throughout this setup. Thus, we will make sure the flow works with the right file throughout the execution, and we get a notification on Slack with embedded context, using the file name and web link in the message body. Now, when the approved path is set, let's look at the rejected path. The process is pretty similar. We export the file using the file ID, upload the file to the relevant folder, and send a Slack message. As already mentioned, we want to notify the approver via SMS when the task is due. This way, we reduce the risk of a task being forgotten. We are all set now. When we start a flow, upload a file to the waiting for approval folder, and the file gets approved or rejected, we should see it in the logs that the flow ran successfully. You may wonder, how does the approver approve or reject the document? Glad you ask. In this case, the approver can either hit the approve or reject button in an email that is sent as part of the request approval email component. Alternatively, he or she can visit the tasks dashboard where they'll see all the tasks. As you can see, instead of logging into a G-Drive account, finding the right folder, opening a document, and then moving it into the right folder, approved or rejected, the approver hits a single button and Appmixer takes care of the rest. Simple, yet very powerful.